Streaming now, guys.
Yeah, make it public, bro.
Yeah, I'm about to.
Oh shit, that's what I'm supposed to be.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of FIYAFilmz Loki Review. I am your host, LK the God, the Deity, the Mogul. As you can see, I have merch on right now. I'm here with some good friends of mine. I'm here with Sniper Elite, aka Wesley Snipes. He doesn't miss, especially when it's your miss.
Yo.
Also, we have B Meezy over there drinking Henny. I'm lying. I'm snitching. Also, we have C Jizzle, aka Puffco Poppy. No, not Puffco Pop, but Puffco Poppy, live from Liberty Sizzle. What are we smoking on today?
I mean, I really need some of that Henny, man. That sounds like a good move, but for real, I got some THCA, live THCA snowflakes, kind of the pure THCA powder, and I'm gonna need a good bit of that tonight. But I had fun with the reviews though. Let's review some shit. I'm ready to tear some shit apart.
All right, everybody. Yesterday was the last episode of what was it? 7 episodes?
Six. 6
or 7.
Yeah.
Last episode of season 1 of Loki. Tell me how you feel about it. Let's start with C Jizzle.
I'm glad we can start on a positive note. I actually liked it. I think it was good. I think they landed the plane, no crashes, no safety gear, no, you know what I'm saying? The mask didn't drop down. I think they landed pretty good. They did the thing. They had one job and they did the thing. They did the thing that everybody wanted. They didn't pull a Mephisto on us. They played some 3D chess with the fans, and I think it paid off overall. Like, I don't think it was like a perfect show or spectacular, but I think it deserves to be in that 8 range. It was definitely a solid ride, and I think they delivered on the man behind the curtain reveal.
All right, next let's go to B-Mac.
Same. Best MCU show. Not even close. Yeah, they did everything I thought they would, everything I hoped they would. It wasn't another Loki. It was a fake out from the trailer. So yeah.
All right, let's go to Sith Lord.
I enjoyed it. I definitely loved Jonathan Majors in it. You know, his acting, that was great. I love that role that they gave him, and I love the way he performed. That charisma was everything on some real stuff. I thought it was amazing. I didn't like Shorty, but I mean, we'll get into that when we get into that later on into the episode. But I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Lastly, let's go to Sniper.
Yeah, man, I'm here for it, bro. Like the cast was great. His acting was great. Come on, man, that joint is fire, bro. Like DMV King, that man was a beast, bro. Like he was eccentric. He was a lunatic. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you could tell he was, super smart. They explained some stuff well. In my opinion, I couldn't have asked for better, man. They gave me everything that I needed, everything that I wanted. You know, they gave us this long brick road, and at the end of it, I was like, this was worth it. So, yeah, man, they landed the plane, man. It was so good.
Plane landed. All right. Let's start with these topics here. Well, we already talked about it, but let's start with Kang. How did everybody feel about Kang?
I forgot. Yeah, he's the guy, man. Like they explained him well. You know, the whole he's just going back in time and jumping through time and being at the end of time, and all that good stuff. And yeah. Hold on, somebody go ahead for a sec.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really see Kang. We saw the one who remains, and I think they kind of merged that with the Immortus character, who is basically a variant of Kang in the comics, who is similar to the one who remains. But he's like, it was more of like Immortus is more of like kind of what they portrayed him to be as like the good version of Kang, basically one of the ones that's not overtly just insane and evil. So like I feel like they merged the Immortus basically from the outfit and his personality that was touched on before, where his personality, he wasn't overtly evil, but he was still complicated, tired at the end of time. So I think that was a good decision to merge those two characters to still be like, this is Kang. And this is what I meant when I said they were playing some 3D chess, because by announcing Jonathan Majors is playing Kang the Conqueror as the big bad, seeing him in this role confirms that, low key, that he is basically, this is Kang without it being Kang. And then, it shouldn't have worked if it wasn't for Major's incredible charisma and acting chops. An episode where a dude at a desk is just explaining things for half the episode should not have been as entertaining as it was, but it was damn entertaining.
So, CJ, you talked about Kang. Can you give like a little bit of history on Kang and all the things he did in the MCU and what we should look forward to as him being the main villain going forward?
Well, they basically alluded to the actual Kang in his little slideshow presentation on his desk, where he said there's a variant of him from the 31st century that basically started this all and basically did the Council of Kangs, which is like a version basically like the Council of Reeds or the Council of Ricks and Rick and Morty, where it's some similar deal.
That was funny.
That's basically what caused the multiversal war. All the Kangs, like he explained, like they're all egotistical, but like they all started a war, and basically Immortus was the last one standing because he was able to weaponize Alioth to eat the other Kangs, basically. So that's what the Void is. That's what pruning is. So like they send him to a place where Alioth can eat them, basically, and he's the last one left. So in terms of being a big bad, I really like Kang as an Avengers big bad because of kind of what we saw in this episode, like a dude who is from the future that knows everything that's happens, that can go back and basically go back and kill your granddad if you get on his nerves. Like that's a dangerous villain, like who could just change reality at a whim, who are countless versions of him parading through the time stream. He's basically a version of like the Master, which is like an evil Doctor Who, basically. The Doctor's villain in Doctor Who, like where he's a person who can freely go through time, but he's an asshole and he's a conqueror. And
not to cut you off. I just wanted to point out that he was black, and he's supposed to be like the ancient descent, like he's the future great like grandkid of like somehow related to Doom and Reed Richards.
Yeah, Reed Richards. His name is Nathaniel Richards. So he's a direct descendant of Reed Richards. But again, we could get countless variants of Kang. There was an Iron Lad character who was Kang in the Young Avengers. So Kang is literally a member of the Young Avengers in one of his versions. He is also the leader of King Industries, what we saw was on Avengers Tower. He is also Rama Tut or Rama 2 or whatever. He's a pharaoh in the ancient Egypt. So it's like when he says there are tons of variants of him, then they all cause problems. I think that's what they're alluding to, is like, because Kang can exist in different times, he can create duplicates of himself in paradoxes. So it's a bunch of Kangs running around, and it's chaos basically. And this is what Sylvie unleashed on the multiverse, as we saw by the last scene. I'm sure we're going to get to, like, where that was Kang the Conqueror on that statue with that outfit, with that, like already conquered the TVA type shit. Like what we saw was Immortus basically explaining what was up, So it was very cool. So I like the way that they did it. It gave Jonathan Majors a chance to just really go in on the acting. And yeah, as you said, it's going to tie to Fantastic Four. It's going to tie into everywhere now. Like Kang is everywhere, and he's got his footprint all over the MCU and Marvel Comics. So he's a definitely worthy of being an Avengers foe, because even though Kang doesn't have powers, which is something people forget, he's just a dude with tech. I think a good retcon would be to make him a descendant of Tony Stark, because I think that would make a lot more sense for the MCU, since Reed Richards is not even in the MCU yet. So
I like that. Okay. Yeah, if he's a descendant of Tony, then it's like, okay, well, yeah, he's super smart. He's essentially all of his powers come from his inventions. So yeah, like a Tony Stark with no morals, or capable of time genocide.
Yeah, like I said, that's the most dangerous foe you can have, is someone who can go through time. Like say you piss him off, he could just go kill your granddad while he's sitting on the toilet. You don't exist. Like that's he can do whatever he wants. He can go to any time and go to the future and figure out the technology needed to beat you and just get that. So like he could just go to the future where technology is balling as fuck and then just use that to do whatever he wants back in, our time or something. So that's what makes him worthy of being like not just a Fantastic Four villain, but like an Avengers villain, where it's going to take everybody to try to undo a dude who can conquer timelines.
Yeah.
All right. That leans into, I think somebody spoke on where did Renslayer go? And that leans into the the trope that I don't like in the MCU that they've done a lot, which is the trope of at the end of a movie or a show, somebody flies the fuck off. Somebody goes through a door, vanishes, somebody flies off and disappears, and they're just left into the ambiguity of where did they go? Where did they go?
Sequel
Okay, so
beta.
they did it with Hulk and Ultron. He flew off literally. They did it with Vision. He literally flew off. And now who? Oh, Renslayer. That Renslayer. She just jumped in a portal and flew off. So that's the trope that I don't like in Marvel movies. But where do y'all think Renslayer went?
I mean, to be honest, one, I think it's impossible to guess just based on the whole time variance and all that. Maybe she's going to meet all of her variants and discover her free will. Maybe she's going to meet a different version of Kang and fall in love with that nigga. Like, and help him fight current Kang. Like, I think it's impossible to figure out where she went.
Yeah, I mean, she got her instructions from Kang or whatever Miss Minutes gave her. It was directly from him. So I'm sure it has something to do with whatever his plan is to get back in the same exact situation he's in right now and in the coming war or whatever. So probably to find some variant in him and help him, whatever, they're going to fall in love, all that shit.
Yeah, I definitely think she's going to find Kang. I mean, like I said, she got the directions directly from Miss Minutes, and she said she's going to find free will. And before that, she said free will only belongs to, the person in charge. So I'm guessing she's going to investigate Kang, basically, or some sort of point of his origin, or, he might have sent her to the 31st century, like you said, to maybe meet the actual Kang the Conqueror, and that's who she's going to fall in love with to go along with the comics route, and they'll be an evil power couple or something. Who knows? Some plot threads for season 2.
So let's talk about the alternate timeline that Loki was pushed into by Sylvie.
Yeah,
I don't know if that
was wild. Like,
I don't think that was intentional. I think
let me ask y'all this. Sorry, Nick. You talk in a second. Did she push him into the same timeline they were at? Because as soon as she killed Kang, the timeline was fucked. Like right after that, everything is different. And he told her, like, dog, if you kill me, everything is going to be different. So is that the same timeline that they went back to? They just don't know them. I mean, they just don't know Loki.
I think you're right, because like I said, from what I understood, the TVA was like a Nexus organization. Like there's one TVA. From what I understand, it's not alternate TVAs. Like they're one thing to keep control over the timeline. So if the TVA changed, that means all the timelines change. Like you said, I think that ripple effect that Sylvie did had immediate repercussions, and it rewrote everything. Like I said, he's already conquered the TVA, because a little subtle thing was B Hunter B-15, whatever, the other chick from Lovecraft was talking about what does he want us to do? Not them, not the timekeepers, but he's like, what does he want us to do? So they're already taking orders from Kang. He's got his statues in there. Like, that's Kang the Conqueror. That wasn't Immortus. That he was in his Kang the Conqueror gear. So like Kang is already in charge. Like, so I think, yeah, those are the repercussions. Sylvie fucked up. Like that's the actual TV. I don't think that's an alternate thing that's going to get undone.
Yeah, like if you remember what pretty much he was saying in Kang in his dialogue, he was pretty much telling her like, "You're gonna see me again. Like, I'll be back." And he even said like, "If you kill me, I'm just gonna do what I did again, but maybe worse." And that's what happened. A future or alternate version of Kang came back in time and took over or recreated and or took over the TVA, and they're still in the same place that they were, Sylvie and Loki, but the TVA has been completely rewritten. These might just be different versions of the same variants, and the other ones are just gone now. And so he just did the same thing he did, again or before. It just is a different version of Kang this time. It's like a paradoxical event type of thing happened.
Yeah, something he said really like stuck out to me because it reminded me of something that a line from the Invincible comic a little later on when he fights Levi Langstrom or whatever, and he tells him like, Mark, like you're one of the only versions of yourself in the multiverse that is good. Like the rest of them went evil, and it's kind of like that for Kang, where he's like, this Immortus version of me is probably the best version of me, and the rest of them are way more evil. So, like I said, if you get rid of this one, there's going to be a power vacuum, like he explained. Like it's going to be a power vacuum, and I'm going to fill it. But it's going to be a variant of me that is worse than this. So like, as you said, it's just started the cycle over again. And now they have to deal with all the Kangs without the prime Kang to help them. So like I said, I guess that's on Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and Ant-Man and all them in the next series of movies to try to sort it.
So, in this episode, there was a big brawl. Well, there's probably only one brawl, but there was a big brawl between the both Lokis, and they both exhibited different powers. So let's talk about this season and how Loki's powers have been inconsistent, random, and or BS.
All of the above.
It's definitely been all the above, especially when he got kicked out the train on Lamentus like that. It's like, this last fight, he's over here, using the force, I guess, so to speak, pushing people around. And then I don't know if it was teleporting or like, he just went invisible real quick and popped in front of her, like whatever. But I don't like the fact that they're really inconsistent with his powers, especially on Lamentus when that building was falling. He said, "Let me push that back up."
Picked it up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like where was all this before? Like, how did this Loki get captured? At the end of what was the end of the event? Yeah, at the end of the Avengers, and just walk. I mean, he's in handcuffs. Like, what happened to all this extra magic and all this and whatnot? And plus, with him helping Sylvie in the last episode with that enchanting Elias thing, which was kind of strange, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But I don't like the inconsistency with it, and I hope that season 2 would definitely give him more, like, either more control or more demonstration, like with his powers. It definitely, something needs to be consistent about that.
I mean, even Sylvie shot a green energy beam. That was the first time she did that in the series. You know what I'm saying? This man, like, all of a sudden, bro, my man got green energy beams, telekinesis, invisibility, conjuring. Like, bro, Loki, you ain't got, he probably has like zero wins in the MCU, but like, bro, like, why? Like, you are situationally weak as hell.
I mean,
So,
honestly,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you could have taken like every fight scene out of the series and it wouldn't have changed anything for me. Like they're all pretty unnecessary and underwhelming.
Damn.
They didn't need any.
Yeah, it's like Loki is not a hand-to-hand combatant, so like to have like a fight scene where he's doing like low stakes kung fu and like doing all, like you said, random powers. Like, so telekinesis is like his mainstay now, even though like he barely ever used that in the MCU, and now he's like you said, he's holding up building and he's flinging people around like Darth Vader. So like, all right, cool. Like, didn't know that was your thing. And then he's like a trickster person. So I was like, I don't expect to see him doing combat. That's not his thing. That's Thor's thing. Like Loki is to trick you and outthink you and betray you with his brain. Like He's not over here to wreck you. Like, I don't really need a Loki fight scene in every episode. Like, I'm good on that. Like,
what I was about to say was, where do y'all see the two Loki's relationship at this point? Because they're having a little toxic, unstable relationship right now. Where do y'all think they stopped at? Is it over?
He needs to like cut her the fuck off, man. Like,
cut her off?
Yeah, just cut her off.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, does Sylvie even
that.
exist anymore? Like wouldn't alternate versions of Kang know that Sylvie's going to kill him, so she needs to just take Sylvie out?
Well, I think he wanted to get taken out, and I think that's why Sylvie was the Nexus event, because I think she was destined to take him out. So like that's why she was so dangerous.
But I'm saying like, so new Kangs, the endless, the other alternate versions of multiversal Kangs will probably be like, okay, cool, Sylvie's capable of killing me, so let me just kill all of the Sylvies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, does Sylvie even exist anymore? So somebody that intelligent wouldn't let someone capable of reaching the end of time and killing me survive, unless
I think she only got that far because he wanted her to, because when he, she couldn't kill him when he wasn't trying to be killed. Like I said,
true.
Like I don't think she has any smoke unless he was tired and literally begging to be killed. He was like, come on, bro, like take my spot.
But I still would get rid of her. Like, if that was me, I'm still like, I'm like, okay, cool. She killed a version of me, regardless of whether I wanted it to happen or not. Off pretext, you got to go, cuz.
I feel that. I mean, we'll see in season 2. Like I said, we got
that,
some
or she's like
plot threads
hidden somewhere in another version of Kang's castle, just I guess learning new Loki magic.
Let me ask y'all this: who fuckboy worse, Sylvie or Star-Lord?
Sylvie.
Yeah, Sylvie.
Sylvie, just by the sheer repercussions of what she did. Like Star-Lord fucked up pretty bad, but we know that got sorted eventually. You know what I'm saying? But
here's my reasons why I'm gonna say Sylvie over Star-Lord.
Okay, yes, I would like to be talked into it. Yes, let's do it.
Well, Sylvie, so Star-Lord did what he did because I mean, like, Gamora got killed, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like sure, your wife get killed and the nigga in front of you, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Sylvie was just mad that day. Like, Sylvie's just like, oh, you ruined my life, so I don't care about the rest of everything ever, period. At least Star-Lord's intent was to still kill Thanos, even though he was too weak to do it. But Sylvie knew, like, I killed homeboy, and it's possible that everything is just gone, and then you couldn't trust nobody, you couldn't believe nobody, everybody's telling you a lie. Like, oh my goodness, if Dumb B was a person, it would be Sylvie.
I don't know. I gotta push back on that though, because like Sylvie, she got taken as a child before she did anything, and from a child's age, she grew up in apocalypses, not knowing why that she was targeted. So her whole life was spent in apocalypses, trying to, you know what I'm saying, like figure out why the TVA fucked her over as a child before she even did anything. Rather, when Star-Lord was just being a dumbass, because had he just chilled, he could have gotten his revenge once they got the goddamn glove off. And he could have gotten all the revenge he wanted.
Black people wake up in America fucks us every day. Ain't none of us ever tried to assassinate no president. So,
and then the collateral damage was definitely different, because Star-Lord, with him fucking up like that, the collateral damage was half the universe was killed off, right? Versus Sylvie's fuck up was, boom, multiverses are now about to start fucking each other up. Like, this is one.
But then the thing is, like, Sylvie had a nigga try to calm her down, like, yo, look, we shouldn't do this. Let's think about this more.
And
maybe
that's why she
a nigga was trying to calm her down.
And that's why she fucked boy more. More.
Star-Lord was more like instant active passion. Sylvie's like, all right, hey, look, shorty, let's think this out. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about it. No, I don't give a F.
I mean, that's her arc, though. Her arc is she can't trust people. Like, that's, I mean, I feel y'all, though. I'm not saying it's like, there's no wrong answer here. They both fucked up, honestly. It's like, But I'm just trying
But
to
I
play
can,
devil's advocate and like to see
yeah.
from Sylvie's point of view, even though yes, it was an insufferable decision because Loki made a really convincing argument. Like Loki, that was as genuine as convincing he's ever been, ever. So it's like, all right, you couldn't listen to him like this one time. That's what was like frustrating. But like overall, for her arc, it makes a lot of sense. It's very consistent, at least. It's annoying, yes, but is at least consistent with it, what her character has been. So I can respect it as
And it sucks because it makes her a traditional Loki, unable to change.
Yep. Yeah. Ironically, right?
She's just a regular Loki like the rest of them. It's crazy.
Destined to fail, destined to lose, destined to screw up.
Yep. Sylvie some ass. My man cried in front of himself, which Sylvie's technically himself. She was still like, huh? You know what? I'll take the end of the universe as long as I get my revenge.
And they made out.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was a little weird.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah, some people make out with their sex toys. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
All right.
Spider-Man toy reveal.
All right. I got the joint pulled up if you want to.
Do you think? Oh, do I got to enable it again?
Yeah.
I got to do this shit every time.
All right.
Wow,
so,
go ahead.
Wow. Screen, Facebook, share. Here we go, y'all. Doctor Strange.
Hey, what do we think? What do we think?
Spider-Man outfit. Wow.
Ooh.
Look at that crispiness.
Okay, that looks good.
This is great. I'm all for it.
It's a cool idea.
And I really hope they already confirmed that he's making an appearance in this movie or no?
Yes,
Yeah.
they did. I think they did confirm Doctor Strange is going to make an appearance in the movie.
Yeah.
Why that face?
You know,
Why did they do this?
that's pretty
Hey,
dope.
He's a 25-year-old man.
To be honest,
Well, yeah,
I don't
it
like
looks
the
good.
red in the suit, but it's still cool.
It reminds me of his one of my favorite suits from Spider-Man in the comics, the Nick Fury Secret War suit from 2004. There's like an alternate suit where all the heroes got these like dope ass stealth suits, and it reminds me of that a lot in terms of the design, like the black with a little bit of red and stuff. Like I love the design. I like the concept too. Like if Spider-Man is gonna have to do multiversal shenanigans, he's gonna need to be hooked up with some something from Doctor Strange. So not all the toy reveals come to pass, but a lot of times they do. Toys spoil shit all the time. So it's a good chance we see this suit in the movie at some point.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all
That's
this.
a dope suit.
Let me ask y'all this. What's the best suit for motion pictures? The best Spider-Man suit for motion pictures?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think the Andrew Garfield Joan, despite how crappy the movies are, a little underrated, but I like the Toby, man, with the webs popping off, like the webs like being like kind of like stand out and popped off. Like that looks good, man. Like that Tobey Maguire suit is clean.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go with Toby also. Both of Toby's suits, like the Venom suit, the black suit, and his original Spider-Man suit, definitely hard. Like that's honestly, Spider-Man is like my favorite Marvel character, and y'all saw the collection of Spider-Man pops with the different outfits. Peter Parker is definitely up there. Now, if they decided, at any point in time they wanted to add some more, I would definitely hope for like the Superior Spider-Man, something like that. Those are hard, but as far as live action, I give it to Toby also.
Toby's suit is John clean. I'm not looking. I forgot it, so I looked it up.
That joint was glossy,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah, his suit kind of
Like
clean.
it was shiny and shit. Even in the game, like the Spider-Man game they had, they made the suit like
That's how good it was. They put it on there.
All right. Toyville Multiversal War. That's what we got now,
Amazing
folks.
Spider-Man. This suit ugly.
Secret Wars, baby. We don't. I think we're headed towards Secret Wars 2015. Let's do it.
Secret Wars. What should we look for in Secret Wars? What happened? What's the bullet points?
Secret Wars was, in my opinion, the best Marvel event to come out since the original Civil War, maybe one of the best events they've done in like the past 20 years or so. like 2015 Secret Wars. I know it's divisive, but I love Jonathan Hickman and like his work. And like I love what he did with Secret Wars because I initially thought the concept was stupid when I first saw it. I was like, Battle World, like what the fuck is this? Like what is all this is? But then I read it and I was like, this is good. This is surprisingly solid. And I love the God King Doom being the villain, like Doctor Doom with Molecule Man. But basically, Secret Wars is exactly what Kang was talking about. But Secret Wars wasn't a specifically Kang-centered conflict. It's basically all the worlds in the multiverse getting ready to collide and destroy each other, and through incursions, and basically the heroes of Earth 616 trying to figure out how to save their Earth, basically. So that's, I think, where we're headed, where the multiverse is so chaotic it threatens, like what Kang said, to eat itself, basically. So we're gonna have to have some sort of contest or some sort of way to sort it out. So I hope we get the original Secret Wars, was everyone remembers from Spider-Man the animated series, where they pick champions and they go to some planet and with the Beyonders and do all some shit. But the other one is 2015 Secret Wars is more of like a Doctor Doom story and a Reed Richards kind of focused thing. So it's basically what was explained, what Kang explained. Like it's different universes fighting for supremacy because there ain't enough room in the multiverse for all these worlds.
With Kang popping up, does that like kind of make the timeline for the Fantastic Four to like actually be like, okay, the Fantastic Four have to show up now because Kang here, their villain is here. So
I mean, they were announced. Like the Fantastic Four was the last thing they announced in their Back to the Movies trailer. So we know that project is further in development. Like it was almost enough for them to like show something. You know what I'm saying? Like they're far enough ahead where they're like, all right, this is coming. Maybe like 2024, 2023 or something like that. But like it's coming. Like they're working on Fantastic Four. So we're definitely going to see it soon. I'm sure we'll see some casting for it soon.
Hey, real quick, Dre is in the chat actually, and hey, he kind of hit on the same stuff we said, that, you know, Loki kissed himself and he thinks that the hardest Spider-Man suit is definitely the Tobey Maguire Venom suit.
That was glossy, dog. Trying to tell you.
That shit was lit.
Yeah,
what are you saying,
Secret Wars is gonna be crazy though, because we might get to see some people fight like you might get some theory craft fights that actually happens.
Well, what fight do you want to see?
All of them. I mean, I would love to see like
rematch.
I would love to see Black Panther versus Wolverine if we can get that somehow.
Ooh.
I don't think that doesn't necessarily happen in Secret Wars, but just based on the cast that we have, it would be dope to see.
Ooh. I'd like to see Captain Marvel get some bump. Let's do it.
I'd like to see...
anything is possible now. Like I said, that was the whole point of Secret Wars. It was like the ultimate universe of like Miles Morales and them. That's how he got over to the main universe, was because of Secret Wars 2015. Like the ultimate universe was destroyed and scrapped, but he was one of the only, him and the Maker, I think, were like the only ones who survive it and make it to the new universe. So it's like you can bring in the X-Men universe, you can bring in basically anything. Is there an excuse to bring in maybe like say the X-Men actors and say, hey, that was a universe, and bring in the old Fantastic Four actors and be like, that was a universe. They could do anything and justify it. And then afterwards, this will be their way to clean it up and be like, okay, now we own X-Men. Now after Battle World, the Fox X-Men versus the, you know, whatever MCU, and now after it's settled, they can be integrated now into the MCU, and then you can reboot it like that. Be like, okay, or that'll be an excuse to keep some of the actors if they wanted to keep Hugh Jackman, if they wanted to keep some of the actors, you know.
What do you say, Nick? You muted.
Not Hugh Jackman. I don't want another Hugh Jackman.
That was just I don't either. I was just using that as an example. But any of the actors, if they wanted to keep any of the OG, you know, Fox actors, like especially like the younger ones, maybe like McAvoy and Fassbender and stuff like that. That would be.
They bring Tony back.
Y'all have to stop being Wolverine gatekeepers. He did his job. He did his time. Y'all got to let somebody else be Wolverine. Now, if they want Zac Efron to be Wolverine, you got to be okay with it. CJ, be okay with it? CJ looking KB face.
I'd rather have Danny DeVito be Wolverine than Zac Efron.
If they have,
I mean, I ain't got no
Jackie
issue with my man Zac.
Haley being Wolverine, that's my pick.
Danny DeVito? Danny DeVito?
Who said
I'll
that?
take him over Zac Efron.
Who said Danny DeVito?
CJ
got the
said
height.
Danny DeVito.
He's got the
He said
height.
he got the height.
But dog, for real,
Man.
my pick for Wolverine, if they do it, they have to do it.
Hulk.
You don't have to agree with
Oh.
me, but it would be the same dude who played Rorschach in the Watchmen movie. I really like that guy.
The redhead dude.
Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't be red hair.
Ginger Wolverine.
What's his name?
He wouldn't be ginger, but yeah, that's my pick. I mean, I really like him. I'm like, if y'all want a short Wolverine, like an actual short, because motherfucker Hugh Jackman is like 6'1", Jackie Earl Harley is like 5 whatever, and he's a really good actor, like a gruff kind of, you know what I'm saying? That's my pick.
Or we can
Anyways.
just not have one. The only way I want Wolverine back is if he's fighting Black Panther or fighting Hulk. Maybe I need both in the same movie.
Fighting Hulk? You want him to wreck the Hulk?
Yep.
It's his original debut. That's how you're supposed to debut Wolverine. You're supposed to just be fighting the Hulk.
Oh
And it's got to be like
what?
no explanation. Like I just need Wolverine to come out of nowhere and just start giving Hulk hands.
That is
That is
literally how he
old.
debuted in the comics. It literally was
Yeah.
no explanation. It was
Yeah.
just this little Canadian dude fighting the Hulk. Like what?
And was giving that man work.
This man
Yeah.
is old.
I want an older Hulk. I mean, I
He's
want an older
60.
Wolverine.
No, I don't want.
He's
No.
60. Bro, his
Y'all want a
birthday
young
was yesterday.
Wolverine? Y'all want to
His
grow
birthday
up
was
Wolverine?
yesterday.
We don't, because I
No.
mean, I don't want
No.
time skipped Wolverine. So, Wolverine stays middle age for like forever.
Middle
So
age.
for
So you
for
want
like
middle age.
for like hundreds of years, basically. So like, give us a middle-aged Wolverine. Drop this man, so and he just wrecks. Like, just give Hawks the hands, bro. Like, beat on this man.
Listen. Hey, y'all got to be open to this, but if they recast Wolverine, it might end up being Chris Hemsworth brother. It might just be him.
Also,
You got to be
no.
open to it.
Why would we be open to that?
It's gonna be somebody. That's what
Chris
I'm saying.
Hemsworth,
It's gotta
Liam
be
Hemsworth could
somebody.
be Beta Ray Bill. Like, that's a better
Y'all don't-
casting.
You have to stop
Beta Ray
gatekeeping
Bill.
Wolverine.
Yeah, because that way we don't see like two people that look almost the same
Yes.
on the screen.
Yes,
they can
Dre,
give it-
Liam
they can give it-
Hemsworth. Yes.
They can give it
Watch,
to his
they
other brother.
gonna make somebody
No.
be Wolverine. And y'all
They
gonna
can
be
give it
like,
to
what
his
the
other brother.
hell?
Give it to his other brother, Luke Hemsworth. They don't look
No,
alike.
this is not freaking Marvel the Hemsworth Wars. Like, this is not what we're here to see.
The Hemsworth
Marvel
Wars.
Hemsworth. The cat can play Wolverine. The cat is gonna be Sabretooth.
I mean,
Dog.
I guess that works. And then if they bring Wolverine back, then let's get Omega Red in here somehow. Like, then we're gonna be asking for too many things that we don't need.
Yeah, Wolverine isn't tall. Wolverine's supposed to be like 5'2" or some shit.
Yeah, he's real little.
Little tiny man.
All right. It's all Sylvie's fault. Yeah, we all kind of. It was Sylvie all along. Yeah, we kind of.
Oh, you got that last one that I put up there.
Yeah.
Before CJ's bonfire.
Oh yeah. Before. After.
No, I'm
After.
saying that topic before.
Oh yeah. I got you. Do you think there will be more than one Bad King throughout the MCU? Drain the chat.
It's possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, there might be a good Kang that shows up. I mean, every Kang isn't named Kang either, so it's like it's very possible that we get what is it? We might get Scarlet. What's his name? Scarlet something.
Yeah, I forgot.
We might get Iron Lad too, then, right?
There's all.
Yeah, they're doing Young Avengers stuff, so I can almost guarantee they're going to do some Iron Lad shenanigans. But that's why I think it would make more sense that he was a descendant from Tony Stark. But yeah, I think they explicitly said that there are going to be more than one Kangs, and like I said, because Kang can go back in time, he's going to have paradox doubles of himself. So it's almost impossible to not have various versions of Kang because he's all over the time stream because he's traveled through time so much. It's like duplicates of him everywhere, because if he goes back in the past where his past self exists, there are going to be two Kangs there. You know what I'm saying? So like there's going to be hella evil Kangs. Like he said, like they're going to be everywhere. because not only is there going to be one for every timeline, presumably, but they're going to be duplicates in timelines because of the nature of his time traveling.
Yeah. Either they go crazy with the Kangs or I feel like they should keep it a little tame. Iron Lad would definitely be cool because we're clearly gonna get Young Avengers, so that'd be pretty cool. Then there's just all kinds of versions that we can get. And I mean, if we stay with like a charismatic Kang the Conqueror type Kang, like I'm cool with that too.
Kang the Cat.
It's just one.
How did y'all feel about the new topic that I wanted to start? It's called Who Kept the Lights On? And when we do Who Kept the Lights On, we talking about who performed the best this episode, who showed off the most, who had the most quotables, who put on the best performance. On three, let's just say it. We all got the same answer. 1, 2, 3.
Jonathan Majors.
Yes, Jonathan Majors,
Yeah,
man.
Jonathan Majors kept them up.
He was LeBron carrying the Cavs tonight. Like he was
Which Cavs though? Which Cavs?
He was Kobe taking. I mean, he was Kobe with the Lakers, bro. That's all it was. That was the best performance out of like besides Owen Wilson not saying a single wow in the entire season 1, bro. That was the most painful thing in the world. Like Disney, you had a chance and you screwed it. If he said wow, I would have gave to Owen Wilson, but nah, Kang definitely has it.
Jonathan Majors had the best performance in all of these MCU shows.
Well,
Who?
I just didn't like how quick he just said that. That's just
what
like,
what was quick about it? I thought about it
Whoa,
beforehand,
whoa.
obviously.
Who was up there?
I'm not gonna say it.
Who?
If you was gonna do all that, you might as well just
Don't say White Panther.
He performed well off camera.
He did perform well. I'm not white
off camera.
Stop. Yes, with man.
If you had to put a top 5 in there, you got White Panther. I think you got Zemo. Obviously, you got Mobius in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong.
I would have to go with Elizabeth Olsen. That's just my pick.
I mean, I'm even gonna put, Captain, the new Captain Marvel in there.
Dre in the chat said Miss Minutes was the best.
What happened to her? She just disappeared. Another character who just did. First of all,
sentient timekeeper that was scary too.
They never explained where Miss Minutes came from, what she was, who she was. He was just like, oh yeah, there's a guy back there. He knows everything. I mean, but like, did he create Miss Minutes? They didn't actually say whether he did or didn't.
Probably.
More than likely, yeah.
Also, Dre in the chat says T.I. and Derrick Henry shows up as Kang in another universe. It's possible.
Christ.
Anything's possible at this point.
I need something to throw, bro. Like,
I'm a Kang, he's a Kang, we're all Kangs, hey.
Really?
What do you think will happen to the other Loki?
To the other Lokis?
Yeah, the other Lokis in the
I mean,
the void.
Considering time has rewritten itself, who knows? Like, everything's different now. When I say rewritten itself, but time has essentially changed. Like,
go ahead. You're muted.
What if, right? What if you remember how they were teasing us with the Loki trailer with presidential Loki coming out and popping his blazer back and taking off? What if that was just a clip for season 2? In season 2, you know what I'm saying? What if they was like, all right, all the Lokis, let's get together and kill Sylvie.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
So let's do some conspiracy here. Do you think Jonathan Majors taking this job and Lovecraft Country ending abruptly after having a good show and people liking it is connected? I think it might be connected a little bit.
I've been following the Lovecraft thing, and I follow the director, the writer, the lady who makes Lovecraft Country, and she basically is alluding to that HBO didn't like how pro-black that their plot was for season 2, and that's why they scrapped it, because like there was a plot and there's a script in place for season 2
Oh yeah.
that they expected to go forward with, and they got abruptly, even with their whatever 18 Emmy nominations or whatever, like, and how wildly successful the show was, like, just because they obviously they lost Jonathan Majors, which was a big hit. He wanted to go get that Marvel bag, but still, like, because I don't know, spoilers for Lovecraft Country, but it ends on like focusing on the next generation, basically, of like,
Yeah.
of that
they open
story.
up the universe completely.
Yeah, so it's like, so that was the plan, and so I hope that it gets picked up by another network. But it seems like HBO was a little bit more concerned with the subject matter of how it was like I don't know, it was supposedly like a reverse Confederacy situation or something that they weren't feeling. So like, I would definitely I check out. It's all over Twitter of what's happening with Lovecraft season 2, but I think that was definitely a factor, losing Majors. But at the same time, there were plans, and there looks like a really intriguing script for that season 2 of that show that I would love to see. That I'm sure a lot of people would love to see, which I'm sure was the motivation in leaking that. It was she was upset that they didn't get a season 2 and was like, "What the fuck?" So like, I'm gonna let the fans know that it wasn't just us not making the show or not being prepared and not having, because the rumor was they didn't have material because there's no second book. So there's like, oh, there's no more book to pull from, so let's just end the series because it followed the book. But what she's saying is like, I had shit beyond the book, so don't play me like that.
Yeah, and if HBO was going to do that, then they'd have never flopped Game of Thrones. So
Facts.
We
Exactly.
know they're willing to go past the book.
Did y'all see the
Exactly.
map that they dropped for?
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Like that
The map that they dropped
crazy.
for Lovecraft Country. It was definitely wild. They had 4 different nations. It's the tribal nations of the West, the White Land, the New Negro Republic, and the Jefferson Commonwealth. Like they definitely had a whole lot of story to take. Continuing on from where it ended, and I wish they would have kept it going, man. But HBO,
What if
fumbling the bag?
What if they put it in perpetual purgatory, like Watchmen season 1, where it's just never coming back? That's all you get.
It might. I mean, hopefully, maybe one day somebody else picks it up.
Yeah, like I want to see just Netflix or somebody should just pick it up.
The way Netflix is going right now, I don't know if I want them to pick up anything.
Nah, Netflix. I'd rather have it on Hulu. Like, at least Hulu don't fumble the bag like that, because Netflix is kind of 0-2 with their new anime that just came out, Records of Ragnarok and Yasuke.
Records of Ragnarok, yay! All right,
Oh my
We're not
god!
doing this episode.
All right, now for the moment you've all been waiting for, folks. Black Widow. We watched it. We loved it. Look at that face. We loved it. We enjoyed it. But the way we do bonfires is you have to start positive. What did you like about the movie? Jizzle.
I thought it was a perfectly fine movie in terms of it exists and it's not bad. Like in terms of like the directing and like the story, like it's not.
If you start anything off
bad.
with it exists, that's never a good.
Fucking Steel exists. Nigga, the movie Steel with Shaq in it exists.
Well, like it's better. It's fine. It's watchable. It's competent. Like that's we're trying to be positive here. Like it's not an unwatchable movie.
This is your attempt at being nice, at say something nice, but he has nothing nice to say.
Is it better than Iron Man 3?
It's in the same tier for me. They both. I didn't enjoy either of them that much, honestly. Like I think Iron Man 3, like I said, it's just an uneven movie. Like it's got good parts, but it also got terrible parts. And like this is more of just flat all the way through. Like where it's not like there's nothing that I saw in this movie where it's like this is memorable. Like this was the highlight of the movie. It was just like this movie is still happening. It exists. Like I checked my watch a few times. Like it wasn't bad. Like it was, but it wasn't like. I feel like it just felt so pointless. Like the movie felt like it had no purpose. Like I really felt like I was watching a filler episode of the MCU.
Yeah, I can see that. It came out at a bad time. We didn't need it no more.
They tie. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's better than Iron Man 3. I don't. I think they tie. Who has something nice to say? Who else has something nice to say? I like Scarlett Johansson's performance.
We got Taskmaster, you know.
We got.
we started there.
No, we
You're
didn't.
going to trigger. You're
For
going to
what
trigger.
it's-
Stop.
for what it's
Stop.
worth.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Nick.
You're
Don't
going
do
to
it,
trigger.
Nick.
You're
Don't do it, Nick.
Stop.
You know
Stop.
where we going with this. Don't do
You're
it.
going to trigger. You're going to trigger. Yeah. Anybody else have anything nice to say? B-Mac, B, come on, man. Save the
I mean,
movie.
Florence Pugh was cool.
I was about to say
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah,
Florence
that's-
He
Pugh.
was hilarious.
That's all you got out of me.
He
Wasn't
kept the lights on to me.
what's
Yeah.
her name? Her introduction. Jesus Christ, what is her name? From Seinfeld, you know.
Val or
Valentina.
whatever.
Yeah, her introduction in that at least you know we're getting some type of, I wouldn't say continuation to the movie per se, but like, you know, some continuation on to where U.S. Agent and her organization is actually going, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how that's not the Thunderbolts. It's got to be a Thunderbolts thing going on.
Gotta be.
With the red cane, and y'all saw the red cane man had and all that. Red Hulk coming.
Oh yeah, his.
All right,
Yeah,
time to
Hulk
stop being
was that.
nice. Jizzle, bonfire, let's get it.
All right.
Ooh,
So
here we go.
Special
main problem-
edition just for my man Jizzle. Let's get it.
I need
the
some
main
popcorn.
problem with this movie is Marvel was too scared to make a female-led superhero movie until they saw the success of Wonder Woman. So like there are two main issues fundamentally why Black Widow never really worked. Like she
Hold on,
never
real
really
quick.
should
You
have
gotta
been an
clarify
Avenger.
real quick. The first
Uh-oh,
Wonder Woman.
uh-oh.
The first. Let's not
Yeah,
the
the
second
first
one.
one, yeah.
The first
Yeah, the
one.
first
number
one. Yeah. No, that's very important because the second one was
Just one.
straight ass cheeks. So like, let's not even don't. That's a whole nother bonfire. Wonder Woman '84, but yeah, they saw the box office success of Wonder Woman, but Black Widow is a Phase 1 original Avenger, so she should have gotten a movie along with Captain America and Thor and all that. When we're introducing, even after the Avengers movie, she could have gotten a movie in there somewhere. So like, that would have been the time where this movie would have made sense and it would have built. But like right now, they built a prequel with no stakes because we know what happens to Black Widow. Like we know her fate. This happened two years later than even it was already late because of COVID. And then they saw the movie and screened it and obviously weren't confident enough to drop it until they were able to get a little bit of Disney Plus and theater revenue because they knew it wasn't going to sell enough on Disney Plus because niggas wasn't paying $30 to see this. Like as thirsty as people were for a Marvel movie, but like this wasn't the one to try to charge people $30 for. So
I fire stuck it.
yeah. So that's why I say like it's a weird case because the movie is competent and it's not really the fault of the people that made it. Like the action's fine, even though Black Widow she's immune to car accidents. There were like 2 car accidents where she should have immediately died in this movie where she just crawled out with 0 damage. So like it's getting a little ridiculous, her power set, because she's a spy, a human spy, basically an assassin. And she's invincible, like
You can join the
except for
fast
Cliff
team.
Falls. Yeah, she's basically a Fast and the Furious character at this point. Like there's just no stakes.
Well, I will shoot her some bail that she has been rumbling God. I mean, not her particularly, she was a guy, but she's been in those situations with them, and you know, I guess I can add some stuff to your jacket if you've been in like 3-4 Avenger level events, and you come on, KB, give her some credit.
Was she really in Avenger, you know, related events? Was she really like it? Okay,
Yeah.
so the
Contributed.
most fighting we've seen her do, honestly, was in Infinity War when they were in Wakanda.
Wrong. First one. She was reckoning the first one too. She was. Come on.
But yeah, she got fights, bro. She got fights, bro. Does she?
You don't.
So
want
all
to
right,
give her no
so
credit.
all right, so then okay, if we're adding the first Avengers, right? We got the first Avengers movie. Was she scrapping in Age of Ultron?
In the beginning, I think
As
like the
much
opening
as-
scene, she was
yeah, as
scrapping,
much
right?
as a
but
regular
who was she,
human
but who
can
was she
be.
fighting? Exactly. Who was she
Yeah.
fighting? Regular
She's-
ass humans. She
Hey,
wasn't fighting.
but what you
she
wanted to
wasn't
do?
fighting
Fight
Ultron.
Thor? Like,
That's that's the point I'm trying to make, bro.
Fight
She's not.
Thor.
she's
Well-
not like that great of an
Well-
Avenger, bro. That's
She,
the
no,
same as
I just
Bro,
wanted to
she
add
got
those
uses
to
though.
her
She got a
jacket.
role on the
Like,
team.
yes,
Nah,
yes.
I want
Go
I want
ahead.
to add to KB's point that she should have never been an Avenger in the first place. Like, not that she's not a good Marvel character, and then that's not like a knock at Scarlett Johansson, but she was only an Avenger because they didn't have any female heroes who had their own movie in the first phase, and she was the only one who had like a speaking role in Iron Man 2. So they just threw her into the Avengers. Black Widow does not fit into the Avengers. She's a murderer and an espionage expert for the government and stuff.
Hey, man,
Like that
look,
is. She's
every
not here to
good
rescue
organization
people or
needs a
inspire
spy.
people.
no Nick.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Now, CJ. Now, I will offer this. The whole MCU is Tony Stark's fault. A lot of this shit is his fault. So if anybody's going to be at fault for killing people, a lot of this shit is Tony Stark's fault.
House,
Yeah,
like,
Tony
I
Stark
would
is
argue
terrible.
that
Yes.
I would argue that a lot of this is Bucky's fault because he killed Tony's parents.
No.
I mean,
No, I
that didn't
can't give
turn
you that.
Tony into an arms dealer and like someone who just made a mountain of enemies and
It
like an
led him to the
asshole
path
until he was like 35.
Yeah, CJ.
15-year-old
Like,
rich scientist boy.
Iron Man 1, he had to destroy his own weapon. Iron Man 2, he had to fight a Bama from his father's past. Iron Man 3, he had to
From his
destroy
father
all
who
his
got
suits.
killed by Bucky.
And he made Aldrich Killian the Mandarin or whatever. And then what happened? Ultron. He made fucking Ultron.
Like, he
isn't
did
a
that.
thing, which
He
isn't a thing.
literally made y'all villains. Like he what else? Civil War. I give him a mulligan for Civil War. That's not your fault. He killed your mother. Whatever. You're supposed to react like that. What else? What else happened?
Bro, if that man had if he had parents still to this day, he would have never made Ultron.
We don't know that. Having parents wouldn't mean he wouldn't be a selfish asshole. Like
We don't-
Tony Stark
yeah.
is.
Maybe,
Yeah, we
but he
don't,
wouldn't.
but we don't know that because first of all, Ultron wasn't even built by Tony Stark. So there's that.
Yeah,
in
that's
the
because
MCU, he was.
Yeah,
In the MCU, it was him and Banner didn't even want to do it. It was mostly Stark.
And that's, but,
It
but
was
also
Stark.
Bucky. I mean, Bucky didn't murder his parents either. They got murdered, but just not by Bucky.
You know whose fault it is? It's Hydra's fault.
Yeah,
Let's just go with that. It's not Tony's fault, bro. It's not.
Oh, Infinity War.
matter of fact, isn't all
His
this because
fault.
of the Tesseract anyway? Anything is
What?
Asgard's fault.
You said what?
Infinity War. Tony Stark's fault. He wanted to break up the team. They was like, let's go link back up with everybody else. He's like, nah, we can take care of Thanos ourselves with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like,
I mean,
Tony
Captain
Stark-
America is the one who wanted to run away though, and took half his squad. It took all the regular niggas with him.
yeah, I
And
mean,
then
like
he
Tony.
didn't even call him.
Tony's just like in the MCU, he's a lot more redeemable, but he's still not good. He's still like it's
Yeah.
more of a. This is why I like the movie Civil War because the having his parents killed aspect makes it more understandable. But in the comics, no one killed his parents. He's just an asshole. Like he's just throwing his friends in jail. Like that's basically like Tony Stark.
He's
He
an
only
alcoholic.
created the Iron Man suit out of self-preservation because his own life was in danger, and he's like, I gotta save my ass to get out of here. Not like it wasn't for remorse for all the weapons of war that he sold and got rich off of being an arms dealer of death. Like it was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, my heart is fucked up. I gotta build this thing to keep myself alive. I have to do this. Like he's a selfish, alcoholic, narcissistic asshole. Super
So
smart.
you realize
but,
like all the super
that's what
smart
he
guys
is.
are pretty much not good. I mean, let's be real. Like even Reed Richards wasn't that great of a human being.
He's a terrible human being. Reed Richards is an awful human being.
Yeah, I mean,
Even his
Doom
friends
also,
point that out
like,
sometimes.
If anything, you could say Doom is like a better, like at least Doom wants to make the world a better place. But of course, he's
Majority of
super
the
smart. So.
Illuminati is trash.
All of them,
Yeah.
like all of them.
Yeah. They're to the level
Yeah.
where they communicate with the versions of themselves to attempt to make themselves better.
Yeah, I'd argue everyone in the Illuminati, other than Captain America and T'Challa, and even T'Challa on a smaller degree, are terrible people. Honestly, like Captain America left, so he was like, "Y'all fucking up. I don't want to be a part of this." But like most of them, if you're in a group called the Illuminati, that's already sketchy. And then if you look around and you're like, oh, you know what, Reed Richards, Professor Xavier, Namor, these are the people I want to hang with. Like, nah, dog. Like this, those are all sketchy
Professor
individuals.
Xavier, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Professor Xavier was out here manipulating children to fight battles, bro.
Pokemon like a word. All right, CJ. Back to the bonfire of Black Widow. I don't think you burnt it up enough. What else? What else did you not like?
I thought some of the actual. Let me get to what I didn't like the most. I didn't even skip over Taskmaster. They Deadpooled my man. Like they ruined one of Marvel's best villains, in my opinion, and one of their cult favorite villains. Like I wouldn't say he's like super popular overall for a casual fan, but people who like Marvel comics and like Marvel versus Capcom and stuff like that. Taskmaster is a phenomenal character, and he's an awesome potential because like his whole thing is he is the trainer of all the anonymous henchmen. That was his conception of the people who designed him. Was like the question was like, who trains all these random ass people that the Avengers beat up, like all the nameless faceless henchmen who just like get beat up and shit, who trains them? And Taskmaster, like he trains the villains for other organizations as like a contractor, so he's not even like super evil, and like but also he's like a Spider-Man of the villains. He's got wisecracks. He's got a lot of personality. He's extremely funny. He's like extremely skilled. He's extremely dangerous and respected, which is why he can rumble with several Avengers at once, because like he can throw, he's Kakashi basically. It's beyond like photographic memory and reflexes. Like he can copy you in mid-battle, whatever your fighting style is, like while you're doing it, and do it as good as you. So like whatever you're good at, he could just figure it out mid-battle and do it as well as you and match you in any way. So that's why he can web swing like Spider-Man and then throw a Captain America shield and then shoot an arrow like Hawkeye and do it like, he could just do all that on the fly because that's how his brain processes it. So to take away all his personality, now I'm not even get started on the women part because that was stupid, but like his personality stripped, had like 2 lines in the movie, was like a Terminator, faceless robot with no personality. His power set or basically was reduced to a computer chip. So it's basically not even special. It's just a chip doing all the calculations, making you do the stuff. So I was like, okay, they take away everything special about it. And then the fact that they had a man actor walk around the whole movie, and then she takes off the helmet and her tiny ass head is on this like CGI'd on this man's body, was the goofiest shit I've ever seen, bro. Like,
Jesus
and it's
Christ.
only because they wanted to have a fake out, like, oh, you didn't expect it to be a woman. Everyone expected that to be true, bro. Like everyone was hoping
never
that.
A woman. That's why.
Yes, because obviously it wasn't. It's like a 250-pound linebacker walking around, and then it's like, oh no, this is this little girl. Like what? What are you talking about? And then it's like, oh, the twist. It was Dreykov's daughter. Who the fuck is Dreykov's daughter? We just learned about her in this movie. Like she was name dropped in Avengers 1, but after that, it's like, okay, we don't know who this Dreykov person is. Like we never met the daughter or saw her face beyond a little kid. So like, how is that a shocking reveal? Like, oh, guess what? It's Dreykov's daughter. Like, what? Who the fuck is Dreykov's daughter? I don't care. Like, what the hell?
We can do anything.
Yeah,
Right.
like, kind of reveal is that?
Jeez.
Like, why would you
Drain the
throw
chat.
away this? If you weren't going to use the Taskmaster character, just use a different villain or just make up a new villain. Like, why would you even call this person Taskmaster and not even have them be the person that trained the Red Room assassins, which would have made the most sense? You're like, how did the Red Room Black Widows get trained to be so awesome? Well, of course, Taskmaster's in this movie, so that makes a lot of sense. That Taskmaster could be the one training the Black Widows. They didn't even do that shit. Taskmaster was just a dummy fucking henchman to go around. Well, whenever there are tough jobs, they get the Taskmaster and dress them up like a man, even though it's a woman for no reason. Like it was dumb as fuck. Like I hated they're gonna have to retcon this like they did Deadpool and like and then the Mandarin. And years later, be like, oh, that wasn't the real Taskmaster because we fucked up. Sorry, fans.
Hey, KB, what was you about to say?
Dre in the chat said Taskmaster also trains heroes.
Yeah, he does occasionally.
does,
Say he's a contractor. So he's trained, he's done work for S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that. So yeah, like even in his current run, he's working with Nick Fury to solve the murder of Maria Hill. So it's like Taskmaster is he walks in the anti-hero territory sometimes because he's not explicitly evil. He's just a mercenary, basically.
And he also said, why do Marvel fuck up things with female leads so much?
Yeah, they're not good. This is what I was going back to before. Like that was bad. Like it shouldn't have taken them this long to come out with the Black Widow movie because they're scared they don't have a female lead. Like Wasp is the OG Avenger. I don't know why they wouldn't include the Wasp earlier until all the way the second Ant-Man movie when it's like the
Yeah.
Wasp is a founding Avengers member, not Black Widow. Like the Wasp makes more
I
sense
mean-
because she's an actual hero and not a fucking paid assassin for the Russian government. Like
Let's
that's
be
not,
real here. Like the last 4 years or so, Marvel's been on this inclusion kick. They've been giving Black people minor characters, aside from Black Panther, and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, cool. We're just gonna try and stick a woman anywhere we can as a plot point, and it doesn't work out every time.
it seems weird and forced. They did the same thing with the Ghost. Like the Ghost is a male character, and like gender swapping the Ghost didn't add to the character. It's just like, oh, it's a female Ghost now. It's like, okay, but why? Like, is it just the actor you wanted to use? Like, I don't understand how this adds to it. Like, I don't mind gender swapping characters when it works for the story, but like, how did it serve the story? Especially the Taskmaster thing. Like, it was just a shit reveal. Like, they were trying to fake people out and be like, oh, you don't know who Taskmaster is. Like, it's like, I don't care about Dreykov's daughter. Like, I don't care at all. You could have toasted that little girl in that building, and I wouldn't give a fuck. I think it would have been a more interesting story because then it also takes away the stakes of Natasha's grief. That's what was bothering her. It's like, I had to kill this little girl to take out Dreykov. It's like, oh, I didn't kill her. Oh, cool. Another thing, it's a Wolverine situation. Natasha, her best skill is being a killer. We haven't seen her kill anybody basically in all of these movies. We haven't really seen her use her spy skills aside from maybe a little bit in a Winter Soldier maybe, but like she's not done a lot of spy shit. So she's playing an Avenger, but that's not really her thing. That's not the strength of the Black Widow character. Her strength is in political stories and like Captain America stories and like where she can use her espionage, her spy work. Whether you can trust her or not is always a thing. Whose side is she on? She's a master killer. But now that she's like a kid's property brand, she can't be a killer. So she has to shoot lasers out of her gauntlet at robots and stuff. And like, I don't be a human who survives fiery car crashes for some reason. So like, I don't think I'm just not a fan of Marvel, and especially early on how they did their female characters. And they had to wait for DC to make money off Wonder Woman and be like, oh, now we're going to start throwing women everywhere. When it's like, you could have just
let's make Captain Marvel.
This. Yeah, Captain Marvel, another flat ass movie. Like I'm. It's,
Are you talking about the character or the movie?
Both.
Both.
Wow. Look at him. Hey, somebody said that the Taskmaster uniform looked like the Sixth Ranger from Power Rangers Turbo.
It was
like
a
Lord
very Power
Zed.
Ranger-esque uniform. It was a very Zeta Man-esque uniform. Like,
yeah, he looks like Lord Zed. That was the Lord Zed drip right there.
that was like 1970s Tokyo robot film. Like, we're gonna summon our megas. Like, it was, yeah.
Oh, did she ever put the hood on? Like, that's the Taskmaster hood. Like, put the hood on. Like, no.
That ain't even Taskmaster, bro. That's just Terminator, Beetleborg looking bitch. I don't know.
Not the big bad Beetleborgs. Not the big bad Beetleborgs.
They did Taskmaster dirty.
Especially after they canceled the show and made them bad guys on the Power Rangers. Not the big bad Beetleborgs. Come on.
5 out of 10. Like, the movie exists, it's fine. It's a thing that exists.
Damn.
Yeah, if you're bored and have seen all the Marvel movies and you just need like to kill some time and you want to watch a Black Widow filler story, then cool. If you want to see David Harbour have a terrible Russian accent and be Red Guardian, cool.
DJ,
like,
would you rather watch this? Would you rather watch Black Widow or X-Men Apocalypse?
Black Widow. I'll probably watch Black Widow over X-Men
Black Widow.
Apocalypse.
Come on, man. Don't do
like I said, it's competent.
Come
it exists.
on.
As long as I just like tune out the Taskmaster parts, it's a watchable movie. That's just more of a personal annoyance for me.
X-Men Apocalypse is literally in the garbage bin.
Yeah.
I'm never watching that again. You'd have to pay me money.
Great. Dre in the chat said Taskmaster looks like Ultraman, the Japanese one.
Yeah.
It was bad design. It was a bad design because they have to sell the movie in China and you can't use skull imagery in China. So like that's the reason they changed the costume from the iconic skull and hood to whatever the fuck Lord Zed shit we saw. Because they for whatever reason, I don't know what the reason is, but you can't have skull and
because communism.
That's wow. Like for real, didn't even have a skull face, just had a face and no hood. You could have just put the hood on, like make the skull a hood or something, whatever.
No hood and make him a girl. That's the answer to everything.
And take away all the personality. Like have them have no like speaking lines in the movie, basically like 2 lines.
And the Iron Man.
Dog, that would have made the villain better if you could talk a little bit. I don't even care about the fact that it's a girl. Okay, gender bend, y'all gonna do that shit anyway. But Taskmaster is known for having bars, is known for having a thick New York accent, is known for being a wise ass.
And is known for having hands.
That too.
Yeah, all the hands. He's one of the, like I said, one of the toughest people to fight in all the Marvel universe. Because if he fights Shang-Chi or something, he's going to pick up Shang-Chi's fighting abilities on the fly and copy Ninja Kakashi's ass. So like, then Shang-Chi's got to fight someone as good as him. Like that's why he's so dangerous. Like whatever you can do, he can do instantly. So if you're not good enough, you know what I'm saying? You better know yourself, or you better be able to handle
Black
your
Widow
own
should not
tricks.
beat him. I don't know if they fought in the ones, but Black Widow does not beat Taskmaster on the ones.
Oh hell no.
No, hell no.
Just like in the game, the terrible Marvel game that they dropped in Taskmaster, you had to fight him with Black Widow.
Oh
that
yeah,
the
Avengers movie.
Avengers,
yeah, game.
Well, that was like the only good thing about that game was that mission, and everything else was like monotonous.
Yeah, the opening
just a
mission.
rinse and
They
repeat
should have did that 20 times.
Yeah. Did we bury this movie enough? Did we burn it enough? Kill it enough? Dreykov's daughter. Did we kill it enough? Like Dreykov's daughter in the building. Before we get out of here, I would like to do a. What are we doing? I would like to do a Funko Pop review. Funko Pop review.
That's me.
What will we show us? What will we show us?
Your boy.
What will we show us?
Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Cosmic Ghost Rider. Now bring it closer to the camera, please, so we get a closer look.
Cosmic Ghost Rider. So this Cosmic Ghost Rider is Frank Castle from what Earth was that? Earth Earth TRN 666. What had happened was everything got fucked up by Thanos. Thanos became some type of king, and Ghost Rider was like, yeah, I don't like that. So I'm gonna go back in time and kill him. But he did his little stare at baby Thanos and was like, oh, he's not evil yet. So let's take him on a wild ride throughout the fucking universe. Cosmic Ghost Rider, ladies and gentlemen.
Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Yeah, it's a fun comic. It's definitely worth a read.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. That is the end of Loki. What we have next? We have What If next.
What if in like 3 weeks or 4 weeks?
What if Shang-Chi, The Eternals? I think that's all coming in within like the next 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, and then I think Spider-Man and Hawkeye are still supposed to come out this year too.
Yeah.
Oh, the Hawkeye show. That is right.
Y'all gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Shout outs to What If for giving us a little more Chadwick Boseman, man.
Yeah, we get one more.
Yeah.
Shout out to What If. All right. Since we're this is wrapped up, we got time to knock out some bonfire episodes, everybody. All right. Thank you for joining us on a new episode of FIYAFilmz. I was the host, LK the God, the DD, the Mogul, the One, the Shogun, and the O1. Oh shit, Titan Season 3 is back. Anybody watch the trailer?
And they were saying that's what it was. It was Titans that they're supposed to be doing the Killing Joke as their season.
Yeah, the Killing Joke. Yeah. Ray just said that.
Oh my God. Make it stop. Someone stop this. Please. It's a terrible fucking show, dog. How did it get another season?
Listen, I'll watch it. I'll watch it if you watch it.
Hey, look, DC hit a Dave Chappelle and said, can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
I'm mad this man said, I'll watch it if you watch it. We don't want to watch it.
Yeah, it's like people watching it is a problem. People need to stop watching it so they can put this money into something good.
I will watch it with you. We will suffer together.
That doesn't make it better, bro. That doesn't make
I do not want to see Beast Boy turn into a tiger again for another whole season because they can't afford to draw any more animals.
Nah, bro. This season is gonna be a velociraptor. That's all he's gonna turn into.
Might get a pigeon.
They got the audacity to do the Red Hood story with no damn Joker, with no damn Batman, Robin, who was alive and didn't get killed. He's just like a bratty asshole who wants to become Red Hood now. Like they got Superboy and Crypto on the show for no reason. They got a whole hooker-looking Starfire. It's like this is not the actress, just the outfit.
Everybody, that is C Jizzle live from Liberty City, aka Puffco Poppy, and for B-Mac and Sith Lord with the Funko Pop reviews. Thank you again for joining us on a new episode of FIYAFilmz. Fuck Titans. Tell someone you love them. I am dead. I am dead.